Let's put on a show.
Welcome to Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by Snickers.
Chilly, windy weather in New York City today. Guys, it's a harrowing weekend for football fans in New York City. The Jets have the Chiefs today. Giants have Tampa tomorrow on Monday Night Football. Maybe a whole lot of New York City kids growing up Bills fans these days. I don't know, strange times in 2020. Hello and welcome to Sunday NFL Countdown Week 8. I'm Sam Ponder with Randy Moss, Rex Ryan, Teddy Bruschi, and Matt Hasselbeck. A lot to be excited about this year, though, for all the strangeness we've experienced. Most points ever through 7 weeks. Most 5-win teams ever in NFL history at this point in the season. But there's also been a lot of news, so we start with that. Let's get to our insiders, Chris Mortensen and Adam Schefter. Guys, what do we need to know this morning?
Well, Sam, as you know, Tua Tagovailoa is going to make his debut for the Miami Dolphins, the 5th pick in this draft. It's the most anticipated start by a Miami Dolphins quarterback since September 1983 when Dan Marino took over for the Dolphins. We know how that worked out. We'll see how it works out with Tua. Remember last week he got on the field for a couple plays. He then FaceTimed his parents from the field because they couldn't be there. Well, guess what? He'll have family there today. He won't have to FaceTime after the game.
Our Cowboys quarterback Ben DiNucci, who will make his first NFL start tonight in Philadelphia, wasn't invited to the Combine or to any college All-Star game, but he did have a connection to Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy, having played basketball for McCarthy's brother Joe at Pine Richland High School in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. McCarthy helped push Dallas to take DiNucci in the 7th round of the draft. Had DiNucci gone undrafted, Chicago and Carolina would have been interested. The Cowboys like what they have, and they'll give them a chance to open it up tonight, Lord.
And the Ravens go against that stout Pittsburgh Steelers defense without Mark Ingram. He's doubtful, should be inactive today, but they still go by committee. Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, he can be help out of the backfield. Justice Hill. Oh, by the way, there's a guy named Lamar Jackson who can run the ball as well. And don't be surprised if Lamar doesn't take some shots downfield, because the Ravens definitely believe they can expose some of that Steelers secondary that's been so highly touted, Sam.
Yeah, guys, there's so much to talk about in this game. An early game, a big matchup across the board, and we'll get to a lot of that later. But I just want to start with the thing that you always talk about when you're talking Steelers and Ravens. The more physical team wins. You know it's going to be a physical game. But, Rex, you've got some history with this one. Who is the more physical team?
Oh, that's a great question. We're getting ready to find out. But you're right, Sam. This is a double chin strap game. And I know what Mort's saying. They're going to take shots on the field. I don't even think Mort believes that. This is about just physical play. And I think the Baltimore Ravens are the more physical team. And the reason I say that, Sam, they're coming off a bye. All right? Pittsburgh had to play a physical game against the Tennessee Titans a week ago. So 2 road games in a row, I think that gives the edge to Baltimore. But we're getting ready to find out.
I don't care who they played 2 weeks ago or the last week even. They're going to be ready. This Steeler defense, I think, is a very physical unit. But that answer you want is not going to be determined until the fourth quarter. I'll tell you this, though, Rex. Last week versus the Titans in the fourth quarter, the Titans just kept to who they were, running the football, and they started to have success in terms of moving the football. So are the Steelers a little bit worn down? They're a bunch of tough guys, too, but fourth quarter plays by the playmakers on the defensive side of the ball, low score, and this is going to be a game to watch.
Yeah, and you talk about that bye, and I know Harbaugh teams are really good off the bye, but Randy, you make the point all the time. Sometimes after a bye, teams come out flat.
Yes, they do.
And then you throw on top of that Mark Ingram, the emotional leader of this offense, really the emotional leader of this entire team, he's not out there. So Baltimore, you better not come out flat off the bye without Mark Ingram. You better come ready to play from the start.
You know, each week we talk about pass rushers, edge rushers, and we got 4 of the top at their position. I'm talking about Judon Ngakoue, the guy that they acquired from the Minnesota Vikings a week ago. And then you got Dupree and Watt for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're talking about a slugfest black and blue division. I can't wait to see this game. It's going down in Pittsburgh.
Just real quick, Rex, because you've been in this game before, how would you describe what the week leading up to this game feels like?
Oh, man, oh, man. I mean, it is so special. And it's like, I mean, you're ready to go from jump. I can promise you that. But it is like, don't talk to me, man. This is Pittsburgh week. That's really what it's about. We used to have special, things we put on the back of our playbooks and all that stuff, saluting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, it was on. And that's what this game's all about. And I'll never forget, man, I used to go midfield. I'd see Mike Tomlin, a guy that I totally respect. And we'd sit back and say, oh, yeah. He knew that his team was more physical. I knew that our team was. We'd sit back and say, it's going to come down to who's more physical. And Tomlin's like, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, yeah, we're getting ready to find out. More times than not, he was probably right. But it was on. Like, I'm just telling you,
and
man.
that's what it's like every time these two teams play. Even more so when in the battle for first place today. That's what also makes it so cool.
It's one of those games where coaches don't even try to say to the media, oh, it's just another game. It's just, they can't even, nobody's buying that in a game like this. Let's get to our opening kicks, though. What you're most excited to see today. Rex, kick us off.
Sam, you know, it's funny. You'd think Pittsburgh in the Ravens. No, I'm most excited to see Tua Tagovailoa making his first start. And look, when he came out of college at Alabama, we all saw it, the All-American quarterback. I said it was the biggest gamble in the history of the NFL draft. And that was based on one thing, the injuries. Had nothing to do with his skill level. I've seen a ton of college players in my life. I've never, ever seen anybody as accurate as Tua. So to me, this is what I said even last week. I was the only one that said this move is great for Miami. Go with him as the starter. And the reason I said it is he's accurate on long balls, mid-range, and short passes. He's got touch. I think he's going to be a star. We're going to find out today.
Yes, we will. We're also going to find out this matchup in the NFC West. Jimmy G and the 49ers going up against Russell Wilson. Jimmy G, sleight of hand, doesn't throw the ball downfield much, but he runs that Kyle Shanahan offense very well. Throws touchdowns, has weapons, knows how to use them, hasn't been turning the ball over. On the flip side, we got Russell Wilson, the touchdown machine. Best deep ball thrower in the game. He throws it deep down the chimney like we're going to talk about later on the show. But he's got no running backs today, guys. They're banged up. They may be starting a guy named DJ Dallas at running back. So guess what? I expect to see more Russell Wilson down the field, more Russell Wilson with his legs today in a huge matchup.
Well, in the NFC East, Matt, all teams are struggling. The Cowboys and Eagles only have 2 wins, but still, I want to see it because I'm just still waiting for someone to step up and take hold of this division that is the NFC East. And the Eagles have that stability and leadership at the quarterback position and the head coach with Peterson and Wentz. I want to see Wentz put this team on his shoulders because this Dallas Cowboy defense is struggling. They should have success as a Philadelphia Eagle offense. Can they do it? Take charge, Philadelphia. Go ahead and take your division.
Let's take it on up to Buffalo. Does the head coach, Sean McDermott, have the kryptonite to slow and stop the New England Patriots team as a whole? Or could it possibly be Mother Nature? There's going to be some ugly conditions up there in New York. I don't know about the win, but I know what I've been seeing out of Cam Newton in the passing game. Last week, 3 interceptions, skipping passes to your wide receivers. Hey, speaking of wide receivers, you don't have Julian Edelman today. So Super Cam has to show up today in Buffalo. And don't forget, it's going to be windy. Put the ball right on the numbers, Cam.
Yeah, easier said than done, at least recently. Let's go down south to